Once again, injuries making the headlines after West Ham United's positive performance at home to Chelsea. That's what I'm going to be discussing coming up in today's show. Is the news of Paqueta and Aguerd's injuries. Once again, that's all coming up next on West Ham Unofficial. Now, speaking after the 1-1 draw, David Moyes praised his West Ham United side for their fighting qualities after they battled back from a whirlwind Chelsea start. They claim a point at London Stadium. João Felix opened the scoring inside 16 minutes played in East London during a testing beginning to the contest, which also saw the visitors have 2 goals chalked off for tight offsides. West Ham did not wilt, however, and Emerson's 28th minute leveller, which was his first career Premier League goal against his former club, ultimately proved enough to secure a share of the spoils. There was late drama when substitute Thomas Souček saw his close range strike ruled out offside against Declan Rice, who had gone just too soon before his header and was parried into the arms, parried into the path, of Kepa Arrizabalaga. And of course, the drama when Conor Gallagher's shot hit Souček on the arm and VAR deemed it not clear and obvious enough to give a penalty. Souček was on the pitch as Paqueta had felt, as Paqueta had left the field with a shoulder injury in the first half, and also Naif Aguerd was replaced in the second with what happened to be a groin problem. While Moyes felt elements of his team's play fell below their standards, most notably their defensive play, he felt their character was a major factor behind extending their unbeaten run to 4 games. So again, a positive result. You've got to respect the point. That's exactly what I think David Moyes has done over the last 2 games against Newcastle and against Chelsea. But again, injuries are cropping up, and it's incredibly frustrating when we sit here and we see these players begin to look like they're getting close to their best, i.e. Paqueta and Aguerd, looking like they're really slotting themselves into that first team and really putting down and showing David Moyes exactly what they can do, and then they get a setback like an injury, and that's probably two of our most informed players over the last few weeks. Bang, injured. We'll have to await the results from the medical team to see how long they're out for, but I take that with a pinch of salt because we were told Kera's injured and he was bunged in today, and we were told Ings was going to be injured for longer, and he was put straight back in last week and came on for about half an hour today as well. So, you've got to take what the medical team say with a pinch of salt, because I'm sure Moyes filters what actually comes out to do with injuries. But there's no doubting that Paqueta felt his shoulder, and usually when it's a shoulder, I'm no doctor, but if there's a shoulder problem there, that's not a sort of super easy fix. So let's hope that that's a minimal amount of time on the sidelines for Lucas Paqueta. And as well, Naif Aguerd felt like he felt something like his hamstring or his groin down that side, which he's had an issue with before, which is frustrating because, he was getting to his best. Although today I didn't think he was fantastic, but I thought he was absolutely immense last week at Newcastle, and he really proved what he can do in a West Ham shirt, and really, the fans sort of really sort of appreciated that last week, because I thought we were all I thought that he was excellent alongside the huge majority of the West Ham fan base. So it's really, really frustrating, and there was a chance to win the game with that goal, but Rice, of course, went a little bit too early with the run. Although they did have 2 goals chalked off and that dodgy VAR decision that went our way. Revenge for that Chelsea game in September, I say. But yeah, it was a game that we can take a lot of positives from, a few negatives from as well defensively, as Moyes sort of alluded to in his post-match press conference. At some points our defensive play wasn't good enough. For those two goals that were chalked off, and you'd say for the goal as well, and in different areas we've lost our man, looked a bit slow, a little bit open, too easy to sort of cut in half for Chelsea, and that was definitely the case inside the first 20-25 minutes when they bullied us. Let's not lie, they came out and they completely bullied us in that first 20-25 minutes. So that's something Moyes will want to work on. And the shape in the first half didn't particularly work. Second half, I thought we sort of nullified the threat Chelsea had there, and we dealt with them relatively sort of easily, I thought. But first off, it was a worry because we were being torn to pieces at points, and we were just lucky a couple of those runs were missed time by Chelsea. Otherwise we would have been out of the game inside 25 minutes. So there's plenty of things to take out of the game. We've got to respect the point. as we now move on to a game against Spurs. Well, you never know what's going to happen there. They beat City one week and then they lose and get thumped 4-1 by Leicester the next. So it's a proper Spursy moment for them. So it's going to be really difficult to predict what happens next week, as it was this week as well. Many people did in the end predict a 1-1 draw, but we didn't know what Chelsea side was going to turn up, and West Ham as well. And I think that'll be the case next week against a Spurs side that are relatively inconsistent as well. So we've just got to try and capitalise on and try and build on what Leicester did today at the King Power, and hopefully we'll be on to a winner next week there as well. But yeah, let's hope over the next few days we have some positive news about or surrounding these injuries, and hopefully we can get these two really imperative important players back into the team as soon as possible. We are hearing that Zuma is edging closer towards his return earlier than expected, so that could be a positive that we could see him involved next week. But just get these players back as soon as possible. When they are fully fit, that's when you bring them back. But hopefully that is sooner rather than later, because they're two players we desperately need in there. And although I thought Souček did make a few good blocks today, I'm not alluding to that save. A good few blocks and tackles. Having Paqueta in there is still a much better option for me. And Aguerd, it goes without saying, a brilliant centre-half. And just to get him back in there will make our defence a lot more solid. Johnson did play well, so that's who I'd expect to come in next week if Aguerd isn't fit, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it next week. Overall, coming from the London Stadium today, we've got to respect the point. And I think if most people would have said before that Newcastle game, in these two games, you're going to get a draw and a 1-1 draw from each, I think most people would have taken it from you. And that's exactly what we've got. And there's some positives to take out of it. We've got a 4-game unbeaten run currently. We've still only lost once inside 2023. Hopefully that won't change next week at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Massive derby. So yeah, another London derby awaits. Can West Ham step up and pick something up? We'll have to wait and see next week. But yeah, positives and negatives are very... a sort of game that was packed with drama, packed with talking points, but at the end it boils down to a 1-1 draw. And I definitely think West Ham and David Moyes will be the happier of the two managers coming out of it. It doesn't really do Graham Potter and his side too many favours, so we'll have to wait and see in terms of Chelsea what happens with them. There was glimpses today in the first half where we saw what they can do. At second half, I thought they sort of petered out into nothing attacking wise. I thought they really didn't offer anything going forward in that second half, and a few of their attacking players like Mudryk and Felix sort of vanished into thin air when the going got a little bit tough for them in the second half. So I'm sure Chelsea fans aren't too happy about it. They've got a point, but they would have wanted more for sure. Of course, we would have wanted more. If we would have got that win, it would have been amazing, but we take the point. I'm relatively content with it, and we move on to Spurs next week. That's it from me. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. You can check out our sponsors, Esther M. Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below, and our video sponsors running all the way through February and March. It is Manscaped. You can check them out. Link in the description down below. Use the code WestHamOfficial20 at checkout for 20% off plus a free shipping to get products like the Lawnmower 4.0 for your groin and below the waist grooming, if you get what I mean. Fantastic product, skin safe technology, a little light to help you see what you're doing and to get a precise shave down there. So yeah, check them out. Link in the description. That's it from me. Another draw, another point. I'm happy with it. That's it from me. Come on your eyes, and I'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.